I'm Anne Margaret. I'm a veterinarian and Senior Manager Outreach Programs, and this is Poppy, who was recently rescued and adopted out by a staff member. Come on, Poppy. There you go.
Hello, my name's Rohini. I'm a veterinarian. I've been at the RSPCA for 33 years now. I started in 1988. And this is my little friend. He hasn't got a name yet. He's been surrendered to the RSPCA and we hope he'll find a home soon.
My name is Debbie Olds and I've been with the RSPCA for 30 years. I started as a receptionist and now I'm the head nurse there. This is one of the little friends looking for a home. He's a bit of a scallywag but very, very cute. It is a great job. We have seen snakes, lizards, porcupines,
Goats, pigs, a pelican,
camel, kangaroos.
seen a wombat, fairy penguin that was found in somebody's swimming pool.
It's just amazing. Just to treat different animals for different things every day is exciting.
I do work very much in our private clinic, but we do also obviously have our shelter animals and the inspectorate animals that come through, and that's definitely not something that a normal veterinarian would deal with. Had a job in a rural area. It was a woman who we knew had a number of cats and dogs inside her house. She'd been reported by her neighbours. So we do what a walkthrough just to try and assess the situation to start with. And myself and the inspector went in, and it was this small house. It was absolutely horrific. There was feces everywhere. There were cats on the table, on the cupboards. The kitchen was just covered in old tins and cat poo and I think probably about 50 dogs running around on the ground as well, and all the cats were sitting on the benches. Just room to room was like that. The levels of ammonia were so bad we had to get in the hazmat and do everything outside because it was just dangerous to actually physically be in that space. The woman who was the breeder/hoarder was just sitting there in front of this heater that was on full, which was just making the smell of ammonia and urine and feces just even worse. And she was just sitting there clutching one of the dogs, just staring at us. You have a feeling of horror, really, because it is absolutely horrific. It's horrific for the animals. It's horrific. This person is living there with these animals. They're like going, wow, it's terrible for the animals, but this is where this person lives, eats, sleeps. So it's quite incredible.
This was many years ago, a Rottweiler. She came in and she was dying. She had suffered from bloat, so where the stomach enlarges and it rotates, and it blocks off the blood supply. I told the owners, we could open her up, we could try and save her, there's no guarantees, we might lose her, and they wanted me to try everything. So we did open her up. Half her stomach was dead, lost its blood supply. Quite a large amount of the intestines was necrotic, and the spleen was necrotic. I remember doing the surgery on Bella thinking, oh no, there's too much, it's just too compromised. You try and do everything you can, but you don't always know that you're right. So it was a major surgery. You had to remove the spleen, a lot of the intestines, half the stomach had to be removed. It looked quite nasty. We closed her up and hoping for the best. 10 days later, she was a different dog. She came in bouncing and she was such a beautiful dog. I remember her, she's so friendly and sweet, and the owners were really grateful. Good outcome for her. That's not the case in a lot of dogs, Sometimes if they're that bad, they don't make it.
Treating animals in general is very heart tugging on you. One that comes to mind, a dog was hit by a car. It had 3 legs broken out of 4, was an absolute disaster. We took 1 leg off, 2 were in plaster, and this dog stayed with us in the RSPCA for a number of weeks. It eventually went home, and then when we seen it come back in about 2 weeks' time, it was just ploughing along on the 3 legs, and it was a beautiful ending. We don't always see that, but that is one of the really nice things in there.
Money is a huge problem with veterinary medicine, surgery, because to run a veterinary practice, to run a good hospital, it is very expensive. Clients come in, they want the best for the animal, and you want to do the best by the animal, and often they cannot pay. I feel really bad for them, they get, their animals are sick, the animals are injured, and they can't afford treatment, and they throw it back onto me. They say, don't you love animals? Why don't you want to help us, We do want to help you. We want to do everything, to help your animal. It's somehow your fault, You're the bad guy. You don't want to help this animal. They don't really mean to hurt you. They're just so upset. It's because they're hurt. But a lot of young vets take it on board and they get very, very upset and get burnt out and they leave. And that's really sad because we need all the vets that we're losing a lot of vets. We really need them to stay. I just wish more people out there would think about this seriously before they get a pet. Save money, keep it there for a rainy day in case something happens to the animal. Because, sometimes it will, and you have to be ready.
Unfortunately, poverty and disadvantage is everywhere. So the basic idea of our community programs are to provide affordable veterinary care to vulnerable people, to people who are experiencing financial hardship and can't afford really core important veterinary services. Really basic stuff like vaccination, desexing, microchipping, getting tick and flea treatment, and also helping people to expand their knowledge on how to care for their animals. That's all part of really enhancing the human-animal bond, giving people the skills and knowledge and resources so that they can actually care for their animals.
I do not like people saying that RSPCA put all their animals down. That is the biggest misconception that I find, and it makes me quite angry.
There's so many times I've seen through the years I've been working, animals really suffering, just non-stop every day.
Euthanasia is never an easy thing to face. You don't want them to suffer anymore. It is a kindness to see that relief come when they are put down because you have stopped the pain and the hurt at the end. It doesn't get easier. It's nothing unusual for me after a euthanasia to go outside into the fresh air and have a couple of tears in my eyes. It's something that can affect you, but it's something that you go, this animal is no longer suffering.
It's a privilege and it's a kindness to do this, to end their suffering.
You talk about it with the team. It's not like you can go home and talk to friends and family about that and then for them to really understand the sort of emotional experience of something like that. I've taken up bushwalking, getting out into nature. That's been really very, very important for my mental health.
When I go back, especially after a really long day, I love watching murder mysteries and I eat all the wrong foods, especially ice cream.
You need compassion in your job because you have no idea what an animal means to its owner. There's a general love out there that keeps you going, makes you happy to work in there. I love seeing older people with older animals in there. They take my heartstrings every time.
I love teaching the younger vets, they're just a wonderful bunch coming in through the RSPCA. I love mentoring them, encouraging them. I just think they're a wonderful bunch. I'm getting older now and it's time for me to perhaps, in a few years, maybe I won't be a vet anymore. But I can be a grandmother because my daughter's just had a baby, so that's great. I think the clinic, overall is in very good hands.
It's just a wonderful feeling that animals and people go so well together. It makes you feel that you've done something for somebody every day and that you can go home and go, yeah, I feel really good about it. Thank you.